this video, I'm going to show you guys how to play Black Ops 7 up to a whole day early on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Doing this method, you can play Black Ops 7 on November 13th at 3 a.m. PST, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, and about noon EU time, depending on where you're at. Now, the first thing we have to do before doing any of these methods for them all to work, you have to log into your Call of Duty account via the callofduty.com website. Once you're logged into the website, you'll see that your profile or ID here is up at the top. You just want to click this. You want to make sure you click on the basic info section, at which point it'll show your email, your password, your ID, and an address. You want to make sure that this address is set to any New Zealand address. Any address will work, but I do believe it should be unique. I think sometimes it doesn't work, or it doesn't let you save the address if somebody already has it. That also means not to try the address that I've used here. But you can easily get a brand new randomly generated New Zealand address by just typing New Zealand address generator into Google. I use this bestrandoms.com website, and it's always worked great for me. I'm just going to click this, and this website will basically generate an infinite amount of New Zealand addresses that I can just use for whatever I want. I have to try it a couple of times to get one of them to save, but after you've got your New Zealand address to save, you're good to go, and you can go on to any of the following methods. Just make sure you do that before trying any of these methods, because if you don't, these methods won't work. I can't stress enough how important this step is. A lot of people didn't do it last year, and it didn't let them on the game. Make sure that your address on your COD account is set to New Zealand. Now that I've explained that, let me show you what to do next if you're on PC. On PC, the easiest way to play Black Ops 7 early is via the Xbox app and Microsoft Store. If you're on Battle.net or Steam, there unfortunately isn't like an easy trick to be able to play the game early outside of, say, like VPNing. That stuff often causes bugs and either won't work, or best case, even if it does work, it'll still put you in foreign lobbies, and we don't want that. Nobody wants to play the game early on 200 ping. So please use the Microsoft Store and Xbox app on PC. I beg. It'll save you a lot of headache. Next, if you don't have a Microsoft account at all, you're going to need to make one. This is really easy to do. Just head on over to either the Microsoft website or the Xbox website, make your account for free, and then come back to this video. Now that we've made our Microsoft account, or if we already had one, we're going to go into our Call of Duty account again and go to the linked account section. In this linked account section, we are going to link our Call of Duty account to the Xbox Live or Microsoft account that we just created. It's as simple as clicking link account and signing into the account, at which point it'll show you probably either a generated name here, or if you already had one, it'll show your Xbox ID. Once we've linked our Microsoft or Xbox account to our Call of Duty account, all that we're going to need to do is go to the Xbox app and the Microsoft Store app and sign in with that account. For some reason, and I don't know why, it doesn't just sign you into both at the exact same time. The Microsoft Store and Xbox app are separate. Just make sure that you're signed into both. You have to be signed into both, otherwise it will not work. Now that I'm signed into both the Microsoft Store and the Xbox app, what you'll need to do now is either buy the Game Pass PC only edition or buy Game Pass Ultimate. The Game Pass PC only version costs about $16 USD, and you can try to get things like the Ultimate Game Pass via codes on sites like G2A, but if you want to be 100% sure that this will work, just buy the Game Pass PC only edition right from the Microsoft Store. The reason we're using the Game Pass is because it's significantly cheaper than just buying the whole game, especially when we're just going to cancel the subscription after the first month. It basically translates into like $15 or $20 to play the game a whole day early, which for some people like myself is worth it. Once you purchase the PC only Game Pass or Ultimate Game Pass, we're going to trick the Microsoft Store into thinking we live in New Zealand to allow us to play early. Consoles launches are based on the regions and not all at the exact same time, which is why things like Battle.net and Steam don't work, whereas people on console are able to play the game early. The easiest way to trick the Xbox app and Microsoft Store app into thinking that you're in New Zealand and allowing you to play the game a whole day early is by going into your computer settings and going into the date and time section. Once in the date and time section, do not click location settings. We are looking for the language and region section here at the bottom. We're going to click this, and then we're going to choose our country or region here and set it to New Zealand. Once we've done that, I also like to go into the date and time section and change that to Auckland, which is the New Zealand time zone. I don't know if you 100% have to have this time zone stuff set to Auckland, but I personally do it just to be safe and to avoid any sync errors between the Microsoft Store and my current date and time where I'm at. Once you've changed your time zone and your region to New Zealand, you will have to restart your PC to get the Xbox app and Microsoft Store to update with our new region. But if you want to be sure that you've done everything correctly, before you start your PC, make sure you check the available in and the also time that it shows here on the Black Ops 7 game edition. If you've done this correctly, when you restart your PC, this time will go down and will correctly show the 3 a.m. PST or 6 a.m. Eastern Time launch on November 13th, allowing you to basically play a day early. I'm going to go ahead and restart my PC, and I'll show you guys that it worked. All right, now that I've restarted my PC, I'm going to load up the Xbox app and just double check the Black Ops 7 release time. You can see that I can now play on 11 7:14 at midnight, which is going to translate to 21 hours early for me in the United States. You can also see that the timer here on the right went down by approximately 21 hours, which further confirms that I've done the New Zealand method correctly. That's all you guys have to do to play the game early on PC, but now let me show you guys how to do it on Xbox. Now, for those of you guys that are on Xbox, if you've already pre-ordered the game or if you have the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, all you need to do to play this game early is to go into your system settings, select the language and location in the Xbox settings, and for the location, you'll have to change this to New Zealand. It's really easy to do. It's the third option from the bottom here. Just make sure you change that to New Zealand, and it's going to prompt you to restart your Xbox. When you restart the Xbox, it will then show the new updated and day early countdown timer that we just saw with the Xbox store on PC method. That's quite literally all you have to do if you play on Xbox. You just have to change that one setting. You can play the game a whole day early. Now that we've talked about the Xbox, let's go ahead and jump into the PlayStation methods. I just want to start this off by saying that I posted the video that you're seeing right now on Twitter a couple of hours before posting the YouTube video, and a lot of people were telling me that all they had to do on PlayStation last year was change the Activision ID address to New Zealand, which is what you saw at the first step of the video, and then changing their time zone on their PlayStation 5 console to New Zealand as well. After they did that, all they did was restart their console, and for some people that allowed them to get on the game early too. The method I'm about to explain to you is a little bit more in depth, but I can promise you it 100% works as well. I just wanted to mention this method where you just change the Activision ID and your console's time zone first, because the next method on PlayStation 5 is significantly more expensive. Lastly, for those of you guys on PlayStation 5, it is possible for you to play the game early. However, it is significantly harder and also much more expensive to play the mere 21 hours or day early. For most people, it probably isn't worth it, but nonetheless, I'll show you guys how to do it anyway. For PlayStation users, the first headache you have to go through is making a brand new PlayStation account with a New Zealand address and region. You can only change this upon sign up or by, I think, contacting support, which is really annoying, but as far as I can tell, there's no super easy way to get it to update the location on your current account. Once you've made your new PlayStation account with the proper New Zealand region and address, you're gonna have to buy the game again using New Zealand PlayStation cards at the game's full price. I have tried making a brand new fresh New Zealand PSN account and having the game already purchased on another account, but I think there's an issue there with the store regions not matching and the game not unlocking. Again, feel free if you've already purchased the game to just make the new New Zealand PSN and link it to your COD account and see if it lets you on the game early. But in my experience, I've always had to buy the game again on the New Zealand PlayStation account while using the New Zealand dollar PlayStation cards. And yes, it actually is this annoying and confusing to do. Now, the easiest way to get these New Zealand PSN cards are to use websites like G2A, PC Game Supply, and Eniba. I don't know if I said that right, but we move. Typically on these websites, you will end up overpaying for the actual cards themselves. So this usually leads to you paying about $80 USD just to play the game a full day early. Please bear in mind too that the price of the game is 120 New Zealand dollars, and you're gonna need a little bit more than that to cover the transaction fees and taxes and whatnot. So make sure you buy like about $125 worth of gift cards. Once you've bought these gift cards, just add them all to that New Zealand PSN account and make sure you buy the game on that same account. And then lastly, all you're gonna have to do is make sure in your linked account section on the Call of Duty website that your New Zealand PSN account is correctly linked to your Call of Duty account. So that way all of your stuff, including your Activision ID, will transfer. If you've done all of these steps correctly, you'll be able to see the correct countdown timer that shows that the game will release on November 13th at 3 a.m. PST or 6 a.m. Eastern. This countdown timer will match the exact same one that we're seeing on the Game Pass and on Xbox. Again, for PlayStation users, I don't know if this is really worth it, spending an extra $70 to $80 USD to play the game 100% the day early, but this method does work great if you haven't already purchased the game and want to play it a day early, because it'll only cost you another $10 to $15, which is very similar to doing the Game Pass on PC method that I'll personally be using. Feel free to make a brand new PSN account too if you've already purchased the game and try to see if it will give you that New Zealand countdown timer. You'll know it worked if you have the correct countdown, but for me, again, in my experience, I've always had to buy the game either a second time or for the first time on that New Zealand PSN account. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is everything that I know about how to play Black Ops 7 a day early. If you guys have any questions about any of these methods, or if you discover any other ways to save money while doing these methods, please let me and everybody else know in the replies and comments below, and I'll see you guys on Black Ops 7.